This video is going to talk all about SEO strategies for painters. So what's really important before jumping into this video is making it clear that all SEO strategies for painters are not created equal. What you're really going to want to make sure that you do is audit your website to start, because all painting business websites are different. They're at different stages. Your business might be located in San Francisco, a really competitive area, versus another painter might be located in the outskirts of a smaller town. And again, not only that, but like I mentioned, your website might be fresh and new. It might be technically sound versus another website might have a lot of technical SEO errors, and a priority should be fixed to be on fixing those errors. So everything that you should do from an SEO perspective should be starting from data, starting from where your website is currently at and fixing the problems that are the most important and have the biggest impact for your SEO. With that being said, this video will still be valuable. I think you'll still get a lot of context and valuable information from it. So let's jump in. The most important thing for SEO for a painter from the user's perspective is what's called the Google Local Pack. And this is because this is just how people search for painters online. This is what they do. They've probably been putting it off for a month or two. They're sitting on their couch, they're watching Netflix, and they type in something like painter in Portland or painter near me. And the first thing that shows up is this Google Local Pack. Only 3 painters show up in this Google Local Pack. And the painters that show up here get the best results. They're going to get the most phone calls, the most website visitors, and the most business. And then it's sort of a compounding effect, because the businesses that rank here, that get the most business, they're likely going to have the most reviews. And then logically, when someone types in best painter in Portland, and one business has 50 reviews and one business only has 6 reviews, the business that has 50 reviews is going to get clicked on first, and they're going to be more trustworthy. So it's almost like a spiraling process. Is once you get ranking in the Google Local Pack, you get more clients, which leads to more online reviews, which leads to more authority, which leads to more clients, which leads to just absolute domination. And so this is where you want to be found, because this is how users are searching. Best painter near me, home painter in Portland, Oregon, and the first thing that shows up is that Google Local Pack. This is particularly true with near me searches. This screenshot is from a tool called Google Trends. This is directly from Google itself. This is a tool that they put out, and it shows any search term that you want to put in. It shows data over a certain time period. I put the data to 5 years, and we see that painter near me is dramatically climbing. Naturally, all near me searches are going up, whether it's dry cleaner near me or English tutor near me. People are searching using the near me terminology: best painter near me, house painter near me. And again, when people search house painter near me, try it on your cell phone. The first thing that shows up is that Google Local Pack. And Google makes it easy on mobile. The first thing that you see is a call button. So the first thing that users are enticed to do is just call and see, your prices, if you're available, all that type of stuff. And so how do you rank in this Google Local Pack? How do you get found here? And one of the most important things is your Google My Business. Before I jump into this, there are over 200 different ranking factors that determine which business gets found here. So it's not a really easy 3-step process, and 100% you're going to rank in the Google Local Pack. Google's looking at 200 different ranking factors. However, some are more important than others, and one that's really important is the Google My Business property. This is a free profile that you can create with Google. This is, what's showing. All of these businesses have created a Google My Business. That's the only way you can get found in this maps area. If you do not have a Google My Business created, there is a 0% chance that you'll rank in the Google Local Pack. However, it's not just about creating a Google My Business profile, it's about optimizing it. And what I mean by this is adding as much comprehensive information as possible. So besides just your business name and your hours of operation, you have the opportunity to add a description, to add services, to add categories, to add attributes, to add products, to add photos, to add all of these different things. And all of this, Google's smart enough to crawl all this information to get context about your business and to really know what your business is about. Do you specialize in exterior painting? Do you do painting for nurseries? Do you do commercial painting? All this information is really important for Google. And so by having all of this listed comprehensively within your Google My Business, you're giving Google context. So now when that person in Portland pulls out their smartphone and they type in, commercial office space painter in Portland, Oregon, you have enough comprehensive information on your Google My Business to where Google says, okay, out of all the painters in the area, this business is the most relevant to show. There are dozens of other SEO strategies that you can use as a painter. Here's a list of just some of them. Again, not all of them are created equal, and it's going to depend on your current website situation. You may already have done some of these things really well, and there are other strategies that will help you more than others. For the sake of this video, I'm going to talk about two strategies that most painters get wrong. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you've done this wrong. This is just a common theme that I've seen among painter websites. And the first one is NAP consistency. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. This screenshot here is directly from Google, and it's from Google's SEO starter guide. Google puts out this starter guide that allows any business, including painters, to go through their guide and try to follow their instructions. And as you can see, I've highlighted the word trust. Google uses the word trust over and over again in this guide. And this is particularly true with your name, address, and phone number. So here is a screenshot of a local painter's visibility score is what it's called. And this is pulling information about their business to determine their visibility score. And their name, address, and phone number is an important aspect of this. So what Google wants to see is that your name, address, and phone number across the internet is consistent. So if you have a Yelp account, if you have a Facebook, if you have an Instagram, if you're on Angie's List, if you're on Home Advisor, if you're on any of these platforms, Google wants your name, address, and phone number to be consistent. For example, this business's name is Mr. Painter PDX LLC. And I'm using this as a hypothetical example. I don't know if this is to be true, but hypothetically, why this business's visibility score could be so low is that their name on Google My Business, this is pulling from their Google My Business, is Mr. Painter PDX LLC. However, on their website, they only use Mr. Painter PDX. They drop the LLC. And so they don't, and so that's a slightly different variation of the name. On their Facebook account, it says Mr. Painter Portland LLC instead of PDX. And again, I'm making this up. I don't know this to be true, but having slightly inconsistent names, inconsistent addresses, or inconsistent phone numbers is a red flag to Google, because Google's saying, hey, I want to provide the painter that is the most trustworthy, that I know the user is going to be getting the best experience out of. And if I can't even trust their name, address, or phone number, how can I trust them to give a great experience when it comes to their services? So that's the first thing that you want to have consistent across the internet. The second is writing content. So here are screenshots of two of our clients that we basically helped take from 1,000 or less visitors per month from Google to over 20,000 visitors per month from Google, as you can see here. And one of the main strategies we use to get them this increase in traffic is through creating content. So as a painter, your users, your potential buyers are going to have thousands of questions around painting that they might ask into Google. They might ask, for Portland, it rains a lot in the winter. So they might say, what's the best time to paint my home in Portland, Oregon? And they're asking this question into Google. And if you have a piece of content on your website that answers that question, you might show up in Google. So right now, pull out your phone, type in some questions that you think your potential audience might ask. How much does exterior home painting cost? How long does it take to paint the inside of my house? All of these types of questions that your user might be asking, they're searching into Google, and the websites that rank for those search terms and have content that answers those questions are going to get traffic. And because of this, they're going to increase their authority. Google's going to see these businesses as more trustworthy, again, to come back to trust. So now when that person types in, a future person types in best Portland painter, Google sees your website as being more authoritative than your competitors. And so this strategy is really valuable. And so those are the two strategies for painters for SEO that I wanted to cover today. If you'd like a free SEO audit, go to portlandseogrowth.com. And this is not one of those SEO audits where you put in your website and some sort of software tool spits out a report at you that you don't understand. It's actually going to be a video like this where someone on our team walks through your website, walks through your digital footprint, and gives you real actionable tips that you can use to increase your painter SEO visibility. So go to portlandseogrowth.com to get that taken care of.